recording now because I got to have Cal telling me that he's sticking up for me. But okay, so but you remember because Cal, you were the very first person I met.
Right.
Remember that?
I do.
Right, because we drove up to 5 Ward Oats Drive. We were at the top of the stairs, and we walked up, and you saw our dog, and you said, "You can't have a dog here."
Yeah. I'm a rule follower. That's my persona. Sorry. It's been with me all my entire life.
And of course, we despised you immediately. I think
right.
That was a Saturday, and then I met you at church on Sunday. Remember, we went to the Church of Christ was being built, so we went to church in the art building there at Morehead State. Do you remember that?
Wow.
And I met you there.
Vaguely, yeah. Art building, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember meeting Suge in 7th grade 3 years later. So unfortunately, you don't know what it meant to have Mrs. Wong.
I did not, but I have Mr. B.
So in any case, I do this all the time when I talk with my kids. When I talk with my tennis teams, I say, okay, this is our goal. This is the trophy that we want. I want you guys to get connected in a way so that you will go to one another's weddings, you will send one another baby gifts, and you'll go to one another's 50th birthday parties. I said, we won't know until you're 50 whether or not you're a great team. So you have a lot of years to work on it. And I said, because this is what we all tried to do, right? And I feel like, and I'm sorry, but I feel like you guys are the gold standard. So I wanted to get you guys together and see what you guys thought about it. Maybe I'm romanticizing, sentimental, and naive. Well, you know I am, especially about you guys. But the older I get, the more I realize how special it was to share my growing up with you guys and how incredibly lucky I was. And I can remember when we were together for that 30th high school reunion, that when we were driving away, my youngest daughter, who had grew up in Ann Arbor, which is supposedly one of the best places in the United States to raise your kids and stuff, she said she was jealous that we'd all grown up together in Morehead, which I thought was it was incredibly revealing about you guys, I thought, and your families. So
wow.
I wanted to get you guys together, and I wanted to hear what you guys had to say about friendship, and I don't know, you got some things to say about our friendship, because Kal Sabie did stick up for me in 4th grade. I needed a lot of sticking up for then. I don't know, what do you guys think? Maybe you don't think about this stuff like I do, but I think about it a lot. I talk about it a lot with my students, and I'm recording.
I think part of it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I'm recording it if that's okay, because I'd like for them to hear you guys.
Yeah.
I think part of our friendship and what the four of us had, it was not just us four. We were friends with a lot of people, but I think the core of us four, growing up, living in a big city now, I realize what the advantages of growing up in a small town like Morehead are, and all our parents being pretty much in the same type of industry. And I think our friendship was fortified and made stronger by the fact that it was a small town and there wasn't a lot to do. Mark, you and I used to be the only ones on the tennis courts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in July, and then we'd walk to Kroger and buy something to drink. We would have been friends anyway, but I think being in Morehead and being part of a college town really helped solidify that, because we had each other, or we really would be bored sitting in your house doing nothing. And I really think that's why the whole Breck thing has stuck together, because everyone in that class really stuck together through the summers and all our time together. And I think that's why our friendship is, through tennis and through our families, has really stuck out. I see a big disadvantage for my kids growing up in the big city. There's just too many distractions for them, in my opinion.
Now, when you say the big city for my students, where are you?
I'm talking Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, so and for the benefit of my students, I'm going to ask each one of you guys to introduce yourselves, right? And like what your family situation was and when you came to Moorhead and stuff. Because this is a part of the story I love. Is all, of course, I love all your families. They were wonderful to me, but I'd like my students to know about them. Would you tell about your folks and your family and everything?
You want me to go first?
If you don't mind.
Okay. Hi, Mark students. My name is Kal Sabie. I came to Moorhead in I was in kindergarten, late 60s, I think I came there. And both my parents were college professors. My dad was in PE, physical education. My mom was in secondary education. I lived right behind Stark from 5th grade on. So he and I spent a lot of time together, our families, in Forest Hill subdivision.
Yeah, brilliant. So I'm gonna, Sujan, Stark, what do you guys think? And I'd love to hear also about, you know, your families and stuff. I know my students would.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
So I'll introduce myself first. I'm Sujit Sinha, and yeah, I came to Moorhead via India, then to near New York City, then near Philadelphia, both in New Jersey, then Nova Scotia, and a big change from Nova Scotia to Kentucky. So learning how to play basketball after playing ice hockey was never possible. But
That's how you got the nickname Fire Truck.
that's right.
Because yeah, you were like a fire truck going downhill, buddy, when you went to the basket.
That's right. Just don't get in my way, because I'm coming through.
You got that from your hockey days.
Yep. You know, I mean, and the fouls were like, I couldn't understand them, because the guy's standing. What did I do? You know, I didn't understand it. But yeah, so my view, I thought about it a little bit. So you know, I think Cal's right. The key that brought us really that started our friendships was the shared interest, which was tennis, because like you always say, Mark, what else were we going to do in Moorhead? God, there's nothing else. We had good tennis courts. But I think what really bonded us was the shared experience. And the shared experience was the tennis court, but that wasn't the real part of the shared experience. It was going to these tennis tournaments and staying in a hotel with all four of us in the same room, right? And that's where you kind of like the Beatles. I mean, you live in the same room for a while, you get to know the other guys really well. So, and then all the shared experiences, like Cal always talks about the Waffle House, which we thought we were going to die in. If that's not a shared experience, then I don't know what it is. But those are the kind of things that really, you know, stick with you forever, that you remember growing up, and you know, brings, you know, I mean, from all the things that we went through over those course of those years. So you just don't forget it.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Stark.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about y'all a lot in my lifetime, through my life course, and one of the things I talk about is how we've come from such different backgrounds culturally, and yet I think we're as close as you could ever dream of being as friends. And y'all are describing parts of that. You know, I think a part of, well, my background, I mean, I came to Moorhead. I guess I was the older guy in the crew that had been there since like kindergarten to like I mean, you know, mid 60s, 66, 67. But so Khaldun and I had that bond early, and then we started, you know, with sports pretty early, with some little league time and playing basketball. But our families, as Khaldun was describing and y'all have been alluding to, we had great moms and dads and families who loved us deeply and who spent a lot of time and attention in the right, nurturing kind of way for us, provided great boundaries, taught us right from wrong, taught us what it meant to be a servant and to have self-control and to care for the other person. And so we had the same values from great moms and dads that loved us. And so we really grew up like family. I mean, we were like brothers in every dimension. And a lot of that is a tribute to our moms and dads. We were in each other's homes all the time. Like Suj said, we spent nights together on the tennis circuit as juniors. We spent a lot of time together, and we enjoyed it. We laughed a lot. We enjoyed life deeply. We had a love for life and all of its goodness. And from the social friendships to the girls, to the movies, to the arts, to the music, to the Monty Python memories, to, you know, just sharing everything. Of course, tennis was, as Suj said, the thing that brought our little circle together very, very directly. But yeah, we had some great families. We were taught and nurtured about what it means to really love and care for other people. And so we were the benefactors of that in our friendships. And so we were there for each other. We cared for each other. We wanted to be together. We never really got tired of being together. And we always wanted that extra time to be together. And so, I mean, I could go on. But yeah, so I ended up with those early years with Caldoon, and Mark comes along. We're playing some Little League. Mark starts dominating athletically pretty quickly on the Little League field and basketball. He's the one that we all wish we could be like in terms of his giftedness. And so we're trying to keep up with him. But we have a love for sports, and Suj comes in with his background in hockey, and Cal, of course, with his background as father, as soccer coach. But we all have a passion for competition, for sports, for bettering ourselves, whether it's academically or athletically. We were wanting to make the best of our life. We had parents that had done that. And so we did that academically. We did that on the playing field. And that competition drove us, I think, to excellence in a number of fields. And even though we had some different interests, but that foundation that we had of competing was really a wonderful adventure for us. We loved being in the arena. We had a great respect for each other. And as we did find tennis, I mean, with Mark and Suj coming into town, and Caldoon and I, we enjoyed the basketball arena and junior high, but we kind of found pretty quickly that we were kind of independent thinkers, and we didn't want to coach determining our future. We wanted to determine our own futures, and we could do that on the tennis court. We fell in love with the game, and we had a great times together, just enjoying the sport, enjoying the friendships, just enjoying the time we could be together.
It's interesting, Stark, that what you just said about all of us